This is Rod Kusanen. It is June 19th, Monday morning. We've gone up to the high of the century at 2450, and we're doing some retracement now, and I anticipate a further retracement down below the TPLC, which is about 4275 at the moment. We've got a lot of unfinished business here. And let's look at the matrix. And you can see all in here, that's an area of repair. Then we have a secondary area of repair over here at around 41. And next to no volume down at 3475. Hard to say whether we'll go that far, but we certainly do have an initial target of 42.75 to finish that up. And now when we look at our profile lines, this 70% line would take us to 4150, and I think this is a more reasonable target at 4250. That'll probably jump up to 4275 before we get there. So that's why I'm figuring 4275 is probably a pretty easy number to hit. And certainly because the profile at 4425 has next to no volume at all. So we've got to get down there. And it's a fairly easy jump down here. Now when you look at the situation of SPY, you get an even better picture. Let's go ahead and add the percentage to this. It's a little easier to read with SPY. Yep. There we go. So we've got 4409 down here. Well, 4411 has next to nothing, so that's a 1.5. 4397. Another pretty low volume area. So those are areas of potential correction. So we'll just have to watch that. And so this should be coming down. We've got a little divergence in the premium developing right in here. SPY is already taking off to the downside. And let's just look at the 5 and 15-minute blocks. Now here's our 15-minute block. And the VWAP is showing up here at 43. Now we saw a lot of buying in that big spike up. Obviously a fair amount of selling going on here. Some unfinished business at 48.50. Some selling, but not a lot. But at the same time, it looks like we need to do some correction in here. And you can see here, even though that was aggressive buying at 45, there's next to no volume down there. Now that number here doesn't really agree with the volume matrix. No, it doesn't agree at all. It's only seeing 89 contracts. We've got 22 over 2200 on the matrix. So I'm not trusting that number, but nevertheless, it's a fair amount of buying in here. So all these people are, they're all trapped down here. Okay, so we'll come back. We'll see how that develops as this thing likely will continue to move down. Let's look at the footprint here as we wait for this to drop. Come back in a minute and see how that's developing. Well, we're picking up the video. We anticipated a drop to repair the area at around 43.50-ish. But instead, we got a reversal and things started to head up, tested that high, got a little higher, all settling up there, and now we're coming down again. So perhaps now we'll see this. So plenty of opportunity to have gotten out of the short and get into a long trade in here, as you could see. Let's take a look at a couple of things that premium revealed as we came down there and started to turn right around 10:45. So we had a little divergence on the premium right in here, just as we came down to 44.75, which was, of course, moving very close to the target that we had anticipated. And that was at that time right at the VWAP, this cyan-colored line being the VWAP. But we had divergence there, and so we start to head up, and then we get another big move up on the premium, somewhat reconfirming that this market is going the other way. Now, that having been said, this drop in the premium right before the move up wasn't a huge drop. Not really sure that would have been enough to give a real heads up as to the direction of the market. But we come down here, let's verify that's 46. We come down to 46. All throughout here, and there's just nothing but buying going on. And nothing that's really clearly indicating that this is going to come back. But this little drop on the premium speaks for itself. And you know, if you've been watching us, what we think of that. And that's 299 just as a point of reference. Now this is 46.25, so it doesn't go all the way. And let's see here. Something remarkable in here. Forget where it was. Oh, there it is. Now, this drop in the premium, 293. Now, remembering that the previous significant drop was at 299. So this is lower than really what's happened as this market has moved up to 288. This should have been higher. It drops, and that's again something of a harbinger of potential drop, which, as you see, you get precisely that over here. And all of this selling in here, gives you plenty of an opportunity to jump into that short. Big bar down, so now that's your basis for comparison. We come right down to the directional band at 46.75. Okay, 46 was that target. And once again, you begin to look at the premium here, and we're stepping down just ever so little at this point, but far higher than that big bar down. And you see the buying going on. You're thinking, well, it might not, but again, speaks for itself. The buying is now taking over, but this is all stepped down. So you've got to be concerned about what the premium has just told you. 299 was the previous low that we said something's going on here. Now you get 303. That's even lower. So is that a naked bar? Yes. Yeah. And now 305, even lower still. Premium is saying that this is going to come back. And in spite of it, okay, we get this move up. And finally, it's a real nice drive up. Let's just get us there. right in here. Okay, another 308 over here. So premium is all telling you you got to be watchful. This is an indication of a potential move back to these levels, and that's what the premium can tell us. Order flow, not so much. So let's look at just about 12:30 on a 15-minute bar chart. And if you look at the total volume in here, there is nothing that's really, really obvious until we go right into the POC here at noon. And the POC is at 47. Okay. This is at 48. That last drop here was at 48. 75 to be precise. Now let's just go back there to 47. Here's your 47. Really, the last time we were there was right in here, right before that drop. Okay, there's the big drop, and then we have that move down. So the block of trades at 47 was favoring the sell side as the premium dropped there into 303. And so looking back here at that same scenario, there you might have had a good idea that this was about to come back, or soon going to come back. And the premium confirmed that. And then finally, that's what we see taking place here. Okay, so the area of repair still remains. So this is a interesting pattern where it's really a red day pattern thus far, but a very potential blue day type pattern where we could see a precipitous drop take place in the afternoon. We don't usually see it happen, but we hit this high. It's into 1 o'clock, and we see this thing drop into new lows for the day in the afternoon. Could happen. Now we just have to read it and respond accordingly. And we'll come back. Well, this is going to come down. It's certainly going to hit the VWAP, but that's not far enough. That is just at the area. Now, chart. And below that is where we need to repair. Okay. So we could be in any possible, I mean, there's so many different patterns here that this thing could match up with. Let's do this. Now, technically, we're in a red day pattern now. Technically. High should be in the last half hour. But in order to repair that, we've got to come down. And because, 39 is, there's really more area of repair below 39 than there is above it. We could easily drop, meaning blue day. Okay, it's either red or this blue. Could be considered possibly yellow. But if we're going to hit a new low for the day before the close, you could either call it yellow or blue. Wouldn't make much difference. But that means that for the week, we could be in for some pretty significant drops by Friday. So we've got really very little time for this pattern to completely emerge. And in the light of that, I think we're just going to recap as to what we know. This is a typical red day pattern up. Okay. That means the highs are in the last half hour. Now, in the light of that, that means we've got half an hour to make it up to the new high, and that's certainly possible. But the footprint tells us something different. It tells us that we've got areas of repair that have gone untouched. And a red day pattern typically moves slow enough to catch that. This doesn't look that way. And you can see in particular right in here, right down there, the bias was on the sell side. Now, you get a lot of buying in here, that's true, but you've also got a fairly, untouched area of well, you got nothing to confirm that, okay? The market didn't retrace. And so now you got this profile here, and you got all this unfinished business. Now, the market isn't going to tolerate that. But at the moment, so one way or the other, we're coming down. Now, whether we come down today or come down tomorrow remains to be seen. So, premium says that we're coming down, and the footprint says that we're also coming down. We just don't know if we're coming down right yet. It could be that we'll come down yet today, but we've got we don't have much time. We've got an hour roughly for this thing to really begin to drop, and even into the after hours market. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen here. And that's what we've got to work with, and we'll come back after the close and we'll recap. The possibility exists that we could get a very rapid sell-off in the next half hour. I'd say it's a slim possibility now. It's a slim possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. And if we get enough selling going on real quick like here, then I think it'll make that obvious. If we don't get above 48.75, all right, if we don't go any higher than 48.75, then I'd say we will likely come down and this pattern will not finish. But we may not, at the same time, we may not get all the way back down. So there's just any number of possibilities, but two major ones. So on that note, we'll come back. Well, as it turned out, it was a red day pattern. And that is what we figured it could be. Now that it's gone ahead and committed, we can say with a very strong probability that we will now see the market drop and take care of some of the repair issues that we faced. And right in here is where we, pardon me, yeah, this level right in here at 45. A good indication that this thing will be coming back down. Let's take another quick look at the premium. Okay, we stepped up there, continue to step up, continue to step up. Wow. Yeah, look at that. And finally, in here toward the last 15 minutes, we start to step back down, and then we see the ultimate drop and the divergence at the high. It's very clear. Okay, down we go. All right, that pretty well spells it out. So we've got all this area of repair in here. All that needs to be worked on in either the overnight market or tomorrow. Now, given the anticipated pattern for the week, I would expect that this market will drop for the next 2 days into Wednesday or possibly Thursday morning, and then rally back strong at the end of the week. That would be likely based on a yellow day pattern week. So keep that in mind for the days ahead. But anticipate a drop at least into Wednesday morning, I would think, possibly Wednesday afternoon, and then a turnaround. That would be a classic pattern, V-type pattern, yellow week with high, all-time highs on Friday. All right, that completes our discussion.